Hello and welcome to another episode of Monday Markets. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. We really do appreciate it. Also, appreciating the comments on the videos the past couple of weeks. Really enjoy hearing your take on things, and the feedback is awesome. So thank you very much. So in terms of the market, as you can see, BTC trading just under 30k. However, if we look at the bigger picture, higher time frames, currently on the weekly, you can see we had a very strong close to last week's weekly candle. Still think that my target for BTC at the moment is 31.7k in the short term, that weekly level just up here. And in terms of the monthly candle as well, still looking pretty good. We've got another 2 weeks, so 13 days before this monthly candle close. See if we can keep our heads above 29.3k. If we get a close below that, then maybe we are looking for a bit of retracement. I said at the beginning of the month that I was expecting a retest of 25k before we resumed upwards. That obviously didn't happen. Maybe that could happen if we see a rejection and hold of 29.3, but it's 2 weeks away. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. As I say, weekly time frame at the moment, strong weekly candle close last week. We're having a little bit of a pullback so far today. If we go down to the daily time frame, so as you can see, we had a little bit of a spike on Friday. We had another little spike yesterday as well, up to about 30.6. And now, as I say, we are dropping below 30k. We've got a very sort of weak level of support just here, which are the lows of Thursday. So see if BTC can hold that, and if not, then it's highly likely we drop down to this 28.5k level. Between sort of 28.8 and 28.5, this area of previous resistance for basically a bullish retest, see if it can hold it as support. Get back below there, and that's where it starts looking a little bit ugly. But as I say, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. This could just be a very shallow pullback before another leg up to 31.7k. So let's keep our eye on things. In terms of ETH, again, looking pretty strong. Weekly time frame, weekly candle close well above the 2k level, which I'm very surprised at. I really thought 2k was going to have put up some sort of a fight, but it was just absolute wet paper, smashed through it. And again, much like with BTC, I see ETH having another leg up to at least sort of 2300. Would be very surprised if that wasn't the case. However, short term, if we get a weekly close back below 2k, that would be pretty bearish for me. It just looks like a big deviation, a bit of a fake out, and then could be in trouble. But as I say, not getting too ahead of ourselves. It looks good for now. In terms of the daily, again, not really much to add. Wouldn't be surprised for it to come down and retest 2k. And as I say, that's when it gets, that's the big decision time. Does that hold as support and then we have another leg up, or do we get that deviation weekly close back below 2k? It'd be very interesting to see. In terms of ETH BTC, so we've been keeping our eyes on this for the past couple of weeks as a good indicator for alt season. Fantastic weekly candle close above 0.066, so strong deviation there. You can see we pretty much bounced off the lows of this consolidation area from a couple of days before, from 2 weeks before. So yeah, looking very strong at the moment. Going down to the daily, as I say, that's that bottom of that consolidation area that we bounced off of. We didn't make it down to this 0.06 daily level, which I thought we were going to. As you see, previous area of support and resistance, which had very strong reaction. Didn't make it down there. Maybe a target for the future. So we'll see what happens. But as I say, as it stands, looking very good. Bitcoin dominance, again, looking like it's falling off a cliff. Big rejection candle there off of the monthly range high. And as we've seen in the past, when Bitcoin dominance turns, it turns quickly, as you can see by these previous wicks that have literally led to dumps all the way back down to the range lows down at 40%. And if we go into the daily, we are in a very important spot. So this is where we sort of found support and bounced before, around this sort of high 46, low 47% area. So if we can get below this area here, sort of below 46.8-ish, then we could be game on. And as you've seen from previous examples, look how fast Bitcoin dominance moves in one direction once it starts going. So as I say, all the stars are lining, looking good for all season so far. Just have to keep our eye on things. Total 2, again, the final confirmation that we were talking about. Big, strong weekly candle close above that monthly level of 600 billion. So that is looking good for now. In terms of traditional markets, we don't normally cover this because recently, I should say, Bitcoin has been following gold closer than it has the stock market. However, I think should the stock market like the S&P have a strong move in one direction or the other, then it probably will start influencing crypto again. And as you can see, we're at an interesting spot, which is why I bring it up. This 4175 weekly level has held for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is its 7th test, which is pretty interesting. So is this going to hold again and another rejection, or are we going to finally break through and have a push up to that monthly level 4327, which is the monthly range high, as you can see? If it does, then I'd expect the VIX to get pushed down lower, and if the VIX gets pushed down into these sort of 16, 15s area, then that's when we're probably going to see a big correction. So the saying to remember is, when the VIX is low, look out below. When the VIX is high, time to buy. And if you go through the previous history of the VIX, you'll see that the best times to buy were these high areas, and the best times to get out at the top were these lows. The best example, which you'll all be familiar with, is the COVID crash of 2020, when the VIX is high, time to buy. And as we know, March 2020 was a fantastic time to buy everything that was on the floor. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled on that. So as I say, a push from the S&P could lead to a dump in the VIX, and that's where we see a bit of a top area, but just something to keep an eye on. Now, in terms of alts to watch, so as you can tell by the title of the video, there's a couple of altcoins that are breaking out of their range highs. ADA, which we mentioned last week, as you can see, big strong weekly candle closing above the weekly range high. Looks good for a breakout. If it does continue breaking out, my target would be up here, this start of the leg of the move. This weekly level at 50, well, call it 52 cents. However, what I'd quite like to see personally is a pullback to retest this area as support, and if it holds, great. If it doesn't and it's just a big deviation, then you don't lose much, because obviously you're getting in right at the point of your invalidation. So I'm not a breakout trader by any means. I wouldn't like to be buying up here. If it does just push on and continue to 52 cents, then it is what it is. You'd have been obviously better off buying lower down and being prepared for it, rather than increasing your risk by jumping in too late. So as I say, I'd quite like to see a pullback into this area. If it holds, happy days, and if it closes back below, that's a deviation, that's big red flag, and you can get out with minimal losses. Similar with BNB, as you can see, we've mentioned this this pair on the channel quite a few times. Weekly candle close, big strong close above weekly range high, and again, don't need much of a pullback for it to come into that area again. Put in your buys around here. Easy invalidation is a weekly close back below, and then you can probably short that all the way back down to the range low, because that would be a classic range play, deviation of the top and close back inside, short it back to the bottom. In terms of ZIL, is it going to follow ADA and BNB in breaking out, or is this resistance going to hold once again? As you can see, it's very, very strong resistance. We've not got a weekly close above it since September of last year. We've had many attempts, as you can see, to close above it, and again it's still currently rejecting as resistance. So one to keep an eye on. Does it hold as resistance and short it back down, or do we see a breakout and it follows the path of ADA and BNB? We'll have to wait and see. A couple of factors that might influence that. Let's go and take a look at the news. So US economic calendar, as you can see, not a load of stuff going on this week that's super important. However, a lot of speeches. So we're probably going to be hearing a lot of talk about, pauses, rate cuts potentially, the plan on when that may or may not happen. Probably going to be a lot of talk about recession, etc. So could be a few things that might spook the market, which would be quite interesting. In terms of other stuff, so a bit of a summary here, as you can see. As I said, lots and lots of speeches. So ECB president, some Fed speeches. You got Eurozone CPI, you got Japan CPI, and yeah, we've got US initial jobless claims as well. So yeah, lots going on, but also nothing sort of major. It's not like there's an FOMC or a CPI data or rate hike announcement, anything like that. So there's lots of little things that may spook the markets a little bit. And also, let's not forget that earnings season is back upon us. So these are the earnings that are coming out this week. Some big names, as you can see. We've got banks such as Bank of America, United Community Bank, stuff like that. First Bank, etc. And then you've also got the start of some of the tech companies as well. So you've got Netflix, Tesla, IBM, Morgan Stanley, again, another bank. So yeah, lots of big names coming out this week. Again, we'll have to see what effects they have on the market. Going back to the analysis of the S&P, do we see a little rally in the S&P leading to, you know, helping crypto out a little bit, but then also that could coincide with dropping the VIX, and then we get a bit of a local top. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, all looking pretty good for now. We've got the levels that we want to keep an eye on, and yeah, we'll just have to watch and shoot and act accordingly. So hope you have a good day, hope you have a good week, and I'll be with you on Friday to catch up on all the events of the week. So look forward to seeing you then.